the volume, pump up the volume. You say Redeemer full of culture, y'all. Check this out.
G'day, welcome to Ghetto Gallery.
We're going to take you from one side of the city in North Sydney over to the inner city in Glebe.
We're going to speak about one of my favourite pieces.
And I'm going to talk to you about a yarn bombing. Right here we have a yarn bombing, which is a form of graffiti, but artists have picked up needles and wool instead of the aerosol can. There's a lot of similarities with other forms of street art. In terms of the temporal aspect of it, it can be torn down really, really easily, actually a lot faster than what spray work can be removed off walls and that kind of thing. The guerrilla knitting movement's really taken off, going onto street signs, trees, entire buses, even being really quite sort of sculptural and artistic. There was one that was recently seen in Stanmore of actually knitting a spider's web together and just placing that object in the power lines in the street. And so it's very, very creative way to be working with wool. The one that we're standing at right here is in Crow's Nest, and it's at the pop-up shop, which is something that the North Sydney Council have created, and they have hand-picked a selection of artists to contribute to the program they put on here, which includes selling art inside the shop, free workshops if you ever want to get along to those, and then doing cool events like the group of people that put up this yarn bombing here. There is a lot of skill and time involved in this. It would have been quite a few hours. A lot of different style as well, because getting wool, there's a lot of different kinds and colours that just sort of pull it all together to be able to make one full piece, which is actually sort of have to be stitched together around the tree on location. And then there's all these nice smaller details that make it very pretty as well. Little flower objects, there's a koala on the other side. They've even stitched in a pocket here, which is really quite intimate as well. I love the way yarn bombing sort of creates a more intimate feel in the urban landscape.
I'm happy to talk to you about one of my favourite pieces in Sydney. It's this piece right here. It's done by Teaz. The reason why I love this piece is because it plays on 2-dimensional and 3-dimensional space. If you look first, the background is very 3-dimensional with clouds and mist sort of bringing it backwards and forwards. And also, if you notice here, you'll notice that it's very flat with its loops. It's very like script handwriting. And the character is actually intersecting with this 2-dimensional space really well. They're kind of married together, like they belong together. The poses as well of the characters that I love is we've got this angled ankle and the hand gesture as well. You can see it's quite 3-dimensional, and if you look here, we've got like very 2-dimensional again. It really plays on that kind of creativity where it doesn't have to stick to being 3-dimensional, it doesn't have to stick to particular rules. It can actually just look good just the way it is. Just across the street from the last piece I spoke about, I have another piece by the same artist, Teaz. It's so different, which is great. The colours are fantastic. And one of the things I like too is he works with a difficult letter, the letter T, because it has a lot of empty space on either side of it. He's squeezed in the E really well underneath. You take a look. And then we have an A cropped together with a nice Z. Nice Cubist style. And if you'll notice again, he's got a sparrow there that's sort of playing with the two-dimensional, three-dimensional quality. It still looks very two-dimensional, but it really offsets everything that's done. It's really a great piece.
Earlier we spoke to you about yarn bombing and then about graffiti writing, and now we're going to discuss this character right here.
In the traditional sense of graffiti, you'll always see an animated character next to some writing. This is great as an animated character, and what really stands out is the use of lighting. You can see some lighting here on the nose and the top lip, and the way it frames the face, and also in the shines in the eyes up above.
Another thing about this work is the whole entire wall has got this kind of deep blue midnight tone in the sky, and it really contrasts with the colour. This, especially the red that's wrapping around, sort of framing her face in the headscarf or kind of hat that she's wearing. The character itself, her face, it's quite young and innocent and with the rosy cheeks, but at the same time she has quite a sinister look about her, and that's further emphasised by the double character that's happening here with the image of a wolf on her head. It's quite a menacing character, and especially when you see these teeth that are bearing down on her face. And it just sort of further emphasises the attitude that's going on in this piece. Thanks for joining us in Crow's Nest and Glebe. We do have a Facebook page where we post a lot of street art, more than what you see in these episodes.
We're also on Instagram, taking pictures all around Sydney and posting it up quite regularly.
So you can check out both of those by following the links below, and we'll see you in a fortnight.